Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are thrilled to have in the studio with us today our friends from the Crossroads Foundation, Lindsey Purdie. She's the executive director. How you doing, Lindsey?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, joined by your colleague, Candice Reed, a PR consultant for the Crossroads Foundation and journalist and everything in between. How you doing there, Candice?
I'm doing great, Drew. Thank you.
Absolutely. And back with my co-host, my very cool co-host. Kristen Fogel is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. They are celebrating their 20th anniversary this year in Liberty Station. How you doing there, Kristen? It's been a while.
It has been a while. You were on vacation. And I have to say, I got my headphones taken away from me. Just, I don't know. We're off to an interesting start.
It's an interesting start, but no guts, no glory.
That's true. It's going to be a fabulous show.
It always is. It always is. Why don't you tee it off?
I shall, yes. Can one of you tell us a little bit about Crossroads' mission?
Yes.
Great.
So Crossroads was created in 1957 by a group of judges and lawyers here in San Diego to fulfill a need. There were any resources for women who were suffering from alcoholism. And so they created the foundation and opened up the home in Hillcrest, where we still are today. Currently, we serve we have 20 beds, and we treat women with alcoholism and drug addiction, and also dual diagnosis, so with mental health challenges.
That's great. And I think you were mentioning offline that, you're kind of this best kept secret that, you've been around for so long, but a lot of people don't know about you. So that's a shame. And hopefully we can fix that. So how long did people typically stay there?
So a woman will come in and they will stay anywhere from 3 to 6 months. We are a full Medi-Cal facility. And so once they transition from our facility, then they go to outpatient and sober living.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be a very seamless transition to the next level of care.
Okay.
Right. And you've been involved for how long?
I'm a graduate of Crossroads from 2006. I lived there. Thank you. I lived there for 18 months. And I felt a need to give back in 2018. And so I joined the board. Nice. And then last year they asked me to become the executive director. And so I agreed. So here I am.
And Candice, what was your attraction?
Well, my daughter went to Crossroads. Yeah. It was 10 years ago. I was living in Orange County and found out that she was a heroin addict. And I couldn't find a place for her. I looked everywhere and ended up having to detox her myself with my late husband. And then I found Crossroads. And when I found Crossroads, I felt like I had found a college for her. I was so excited and so happy. And at the time, like Lindsey said, she was there for 18 months. You could stay longer. And my daughter stayed for 2 years. And she just celebrated 10 years of sobriety. And so in 2018, I decided to sort of give back and work for Crossroads as a consultant with grants writing and PR.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious. So, you've been around for a long time, but I'm curious about the values and the visions of Crossroads and how is it kind of set apart from kind of similar models?
We are a smaller facility. We pride ourselves on having a warm, safe environment for the women to come. We're we do a holistic approach that treats the whole person. And we want to reunite women with their families and their children, especially. Time away from your children is precious and is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
So we want women to graduate and become productive members of society in however they best see fit. And whatever we can do to be a part of that, we want to jump in and lend a hand.
That's great.
So when you talk about the holistic approach, Lindsey, so they're 3 to 6 months, maybe 2 years, as the case with Candice's daughter. Besides, obviously, getting treatment for what ills them, so to speak. Are there any type of job training? Is there confidence building? Is there workshops? Is there everything in between there?
Yes.
Okay.
So we do addiction education, of course.
Right.
And then we also do, towards the end of our program, we do job readiness. So we will help everyone with resumes and interviewing skills. We do education such as nutrition, or we do anger, we do grief, we do things that are not necessarily addiction-based, but will help you reach in and dig out to what you're really trying to cover up with that drug or alcohol and trying not to feel. Right, exactly. We're chatting with Lindsey Purdie. She is the executive director of the Crossroads Foundation, joined by her colleague Candice Reed, a PR consultant. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades. Been doing great things for us folk living in San Diego County, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. You mentioned, something, and we talk about this quite a bit when we have folks like you on, that it's not just the individual that you are treating, it's the family that is impacted as well. I'll start with you on this one, Lindsey, since you were in Crossroads. Going through it, did you have a chance to be visited by your family, or it was, nope, well, I'm at Crossroads until I'm ready to get out? I did. My parents believed in tough love. And so once I had a bad drug addiction for about 25 years. And so my parents kicked me out when I was 18 and a half, and, you need to get your life together. And so, and it took me a long time. And once I showed them, when I was at Crossroads, and I showed them that I could put together, X amount of sobriety and not be calling them every week with some dramatic need and something is really wrong. And once I could show them some stability and consistency, then they wanted to get back into my life because it was safer. Emotionally, it was safer. So we, once a resident comes, and they have a 2-week blackout period because they need to get used to the program, right, and not have connection with the outside. And so once they come in, then we start them doing work. Steps 1, we have phase 1, 2, and 3, where they will work before they leave through steps 1, 2, and 3. In addition to relapse prevention program, relapse prevention plans, other work that gets you into your emotions, and so that you can get some of that out in a safe environment. We have visits, and we are allowed passes once they get to a certain point in the program. We also have a wonderful LPHA, and she does a family program. So if our residents' families are interested, they can do Zoom or in person, and she will do therapy with them. And she also does it with partners too. So we believe in the whole person. And because addiction is not one-sided, and it affects, obviously, not just the person, but children, parents, partners, it's everybody. And it hurts. It's so hurtful. And so whatever we can do to help has a better chance for success for sobriety long-term for the resident.
Yeah, and of course, Candice, you know this because your daughter was in it for 2 years, and
Yes.
Sober for 10 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
In that aspect. But the same thing, obviously, going through this through her, and you did the tough love as well on this.
Well, we didn't know that she had an addiction.
Yeah.
She hid it very well. And her husband at the time hid it very well. And then we could see it coming. And so he actually got arrested, and we found out, and we said, come to us. And she had already told him that she was going to, that we were finding out, and she would come to us because we were family,
right,
and that we would take care of her. And so, again, like I said, we helped her detox, and it was very, very rough.
Right.
And after that, she went in, and we got to see her after the 2-week blackout,
right,
and she got a job while she was in Crossroads. and she got a divorce while she was in Crossroads, figured it out, and she went to school to be a counselor, which she ended up being a counselor at Crossroads.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Obviously, life-changing to say the least. Kristen?
Yeah, I have kind of it's maybe a stupid question, but it's something I wonder as a parent. And so I wonder if in both of your experiences working with, these individuals, are there studies or have you seen the approach of tough love versus families that stay in people's lives? I have a little one. And so obviously you think of all of the things that could go wrong all the time. And I always wonder, who fares better? Is it really situation by situation? I'm sure there's a lot of that, but, speak to me about both of those kind of
it's scary.
tacks,
Scary.
It's hard. I hurt my parents a lot. And so and my parents are wonderful parents. They've always been there for me. So, and they continue to be there for me. I have a great relationship with them, but they have to protect themselves after a while. And I don't blame them. And so I think there comes a point where you have to ask yourself, am I helping my child or am I hurting my child? Am I enabling my child's addiction?
Yeah.
That's, I had a son and I asked myself the same thing. He passed away. And if I could go back and change some things, I did everything I could as a mother.
Yeah.
But, there are just some things, unfortunately, with mental health you can't prevent.
Right.
And so I say love your child as much as you can, as fiercely as you can, but protect yourself.
Yeah.
We come back from break. I want to chat a little bit about how you're very proud of the fact that you work with other recovery groups and talk about those. One of our favorite is a frequent guest on the show, and that's the McAllister Institute and Jean McAllister, 90 plus years young.
Love her.
She's awesome.
Right, exactly. I think she's sober 65 years. Am I right?
Something. Way longer than I've been alive. Yes.
It's amazing.
She is very, very, very cool. We'll talk about that as well. Is there a waiting list to get in to your place? How do people come to you and all that business? And I know Kristen always asks a question at the end. What can our listeners do to support your efforts when we return with the Crossroads Foundation? Lindsey Purdie, Executive Director, joined by Candice Reed, PR Consultant. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union for more than 6 decades, doing great things in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, broadcasting from the very cool Mission Fed studios here in Scripps, France, joined by Lindsey Purdie, Executive Director of the Crossroads Foundation, and her colleague Candice Reed, a PR consultant. I am always joined by my phenomenal co-host. I think we're getting close on 1 year.
We are. I noticed that the other day.
We're going to have a big celebration on that.
Let's do it. Can we get party hats? Charles, can we have party hats?
Charles is saying yes, the CEO and founder of Cloudcast. Charles is in charge of party hats.
Yes.
So that is on his list as well. Kristen is the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary in Liberty Station. Right before break, Lindsey, we were talking about how you love working with other organizations in the recovery space. Talk about that.
We partner with, we do a lot of work with McAllister Institute. Love Jeannie, love Marissa. We also do work with San Diego Pride. We were just at San Diego Pride a couple weekends ago, had a booth in Recovery Village, and we were able to talk to a lot of people and just talk about recovery, and it was a great experience. We also work with other organizations who are similar to ours, like Turning Point, which is another women's facility, the Way Back, Pathfinders. So, we love to partner with like programs and share information and whatever we can do to support each other. That's what it's all about.
Right. Why women and not male or not both?
We started, that's a great question. We started as a women's program, and it's a model that works. And if someday we grow a lot larger, which is our goal, then, one day we might open a men's program, but right now we're focused on women. To get to that, to talk about growth, we are having our annual gala in September called Pasta Jazz. And it is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's going to be the Roaring 20s Black Tie at the Marriott Liberty Station on September 20th, if I didn't just say that. This is our, like I said, our biggest fundraiser. We are fundraising for a building called Maria's House, which is going to be a transitory house for us. And our goal is to build a sober living and to also open up a detox for women, because San Diego is very short on Medi-Cal women's detox beds. So.
Yeah, pasta and jazz. That is right up my line over here. I know that's up your line too.
Absolutely.
And Liberty Station is probably next door to where you are.
All of the things. Next door is relative, but I can walk there. Yes.
But you can. Kristen?
Yeah. I had a question in there.
While she's thinking about that question, talk about, so how do people come to you? Are they recommended from different institutions, or families call, listen, I've got somebody that really needs your help? How does that happen?
They come to us from several different ways. So we partner with San Diego Probation. Yeah. And we get a lot of ladies that way, which is wonderful. Also drug court. Also from detox, McAllister Detox, women come to us. But a lot of it is word of mouth. They need help. They can call 619-296-1151. We are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We will always help somebody in need. There is not a waiting list, but we are full right now. So, but there is not a waiting list. So you're welcome to call. We'll do an intake and see how we can best help you.
Right. I had a couple questions. Yeah,
please.
It came back into my mind.
There you go.
I wanted to go back to Maria's house, is it? So how much are you looking to fundraise, and what's kind of the timeline, like hoping that you get all the ducks in the row and everything like that?
That's a great question. We would like to purchase Maria's house within the next year. That's the goal. Okay. And we're trying to get a grant also,
we're looking at grants. Amy is working on a grant.
Yes, Amy Knox is the president of our board. She's also the COO of the Harm Reduction Coalition of San Diego. So she's wonderful.
She's amazing.
Very effective. But we're looking to raise as much as we can, and then hopefully finish it off with grants. So,
right.
And just do the best we can. So,
and what's the price point for the event? And are you almost sold out, or how's it looking?
Well, tickets are $80 a piece, and there are still tickets available. You could purchase a table of 10 for $800, and there's going to be silent auction, live auction. People dressed up in Roaring 20s outfits, flapper dresses and stuff. So
we'll have to get your flapper dress out.
There we go.
It's in the dry cleaning right now.
Gotcha. All right. So may or may not come to fruition.
It sounds like a lot of fun. How many people can go to the event? What's the attendance?
About 120 to 150.
Okay, that's nice. And
it'll sell out. So
yeah, absolutely.
People need, and what's the best website to sign up for it?
Crossroads, 4, recovery.org, and then go to events.
Right, exactly. You had mentioned, Candice, that your daughter, again, 10 years sober, 2 years in Crossroads, is now a counselor. Is that correct?
Well, she was a counselor at Crossroads, and then she decided to take a job with a mental health It's a doctor up in Encinitas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how many of the folks, you're one of them, Lindsey, that went through the program are actually working for you now or consulting for you?
I'd say probably about half of our staff, about 17 or 18 people. So we have probably maybe 7 or 8 who are alumni, if not more.
Right.
And, one of them, our associate director, she's been there 16 years.
Yeah.
That we've had counselors there for 8-9 years, and our project analyst has been there for 7 years. So people want to stay, which is great.
Yes.
I would say the majority of people I know that have gone through recovery are working in some sphere of recovery.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
It helps.
Makes sense. Otherwise, you've been around for 67 years, if I got the math right on this. So there's a lot, not you personally, but I'm sure there's a lot of change in how you treat women that go through this. Are there any major ones to say, boy, we used to do X, but it's much better to do Y, or is it all over the board?
That's a good question. So we used to, women would come in, when I first came in, women would come in, and after your 2-week blackout period, you could go get a job immediately. Okay. And so you didn't get as much programming, but you could live there longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, we want everyone to get a job, but not while you're first in our program.
Right.
Yeah.
So we prepare you for the outpatient and getting a job, but right now we want to educate you and treat you for your addiction, because we need people to be more prepared when they are out of the secure environment. So that has changed. Some of that had to do with Medi-Cal, because there's a lot of red tape with Medi-Cal, but I think that more treatment, more groups, more interaction is better.
Yeah, I've got to say that's for the better, right?
Yeah.
You're just going through this process and then, you got to go get a job. That's a lot. So I would think that would be rife with relapsing.
It can be, yeah. People do relapse, but most of the recovery homes were social model, and so you had to pay for your own bed, and
Well, that brings up a question I was going to ask. Kristen mentioned relapse. What is the recidivism? What are the people that go through it, and now have left and now are working that actually come back? Not necessarily to Crossroads, but they've, it's tough to overcome an addiction, I imagine, and they fall back into it.
I heard a study a long time ago.
Yeah.
And if you have 12 people in a room, only one person will stay sober, 2 if you're lucky, and the rest will relapse. So
interesting.
I hope that is different now, but it is hard, especially with fentanyl. The opiates. The fentanyl crisis is real, and it is physically it's very difficult for people to get sober, and because detoxing is so horrible that it's easier to not easier, but it's the fear of detoxing is hard.
Can you talk more about that? Is it how is that going in San Diego? How are people getting addicted? I want to know more.
Well, Lindsey did write an op-ed that was in the UT 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it, about how the lack of detox beds is affecting women, and the headline, which she didn't write, was, that more women are going to die without these detox beds. And so we need to step it up. And fentanyl is causing a problem. We were talking about how when she, had her issues and my daughter had issues, fentanyl wasn't around. Heroin was bad, but fentanyl is terrible. And actually part of the reason that my daughter left as a counselor is because fentanyl came in, and she couldn't deal with some of her clients leaving sober and then not making it. Dying.
Wow.
Yeah, and fentanyl is the scourge of so many things. We could spend another 17 hours talking about fentanyl, and then not even come close to chatting about absolutely what it's been doing to our society. We're chatting with our friends from the Crossroads Foundation, Lindsey Purdie, Executive Director, Candice Reed, the PR consultant. I'm Drew Schlosberg, as you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades. They are involved in so many great things. I know you always have a final question.
I do. I'm just, we always wonder and want you to shout out the ways that our listeners can support you. So if there are volunteer opportunities or things that we can do for you, what can we do?
what they can do is just in general get more awareness of the drug crisis and what's going on and the lack of detox beds for women. But specifically for Crossroads, I mean, we could really use the monetary support. Donations help. And so if they want to support Pasta Jazz, or if they want tickets to Pasta Jazz, or you can also contribute money through Pasta Jazz, the crossroads4recovery.org, and click on events, please. Pasta Jazz, September 20th. Just getting involved. Getting involved is the best way, and education.
That sounds good.
Great.
Candice, any final words?
Well, I also write grants. So right now I've been looking for someone like Mission Federal to help us with a financial education program. We used to have it at Crossroads, and then it sort of fell off because everything changed. But we both think that financial education is really important for these women, because when they go in, they have no credit. They have no money. They have nothing. They've not been able to figure out how to do it. And then when they get out and they're sober, what are they going to do? How are they going to get an apartment? So we really feel that financial education is important. So right now I'm looking for somebody to help us out.
No, that sounds great. Lindsey, any final comments?
I just really appreciate you giving us space this morning and bringing awareness to our organization. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, what we'd love to do is, have somebody. We don't want to break any HIPAA rules and all that business, but we'd love to have you folks come back. See maybe after the event on September 20th, Pasta and Jazz, and bring in somebody that has benefited from your services. Okay. Obviously, up to them if they want to go on air and all that. Some do, some don't. We totally get it. But we always love to show that this stuff works and look at how it's changed this person's life and that person's family's life. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you back.
I'd love to, and I know just who to ask. So thank you for suggesting that.
Great.
Absolutely. The Crossroads Foundation, Lindsey Purdie, Executive Director, and Candice Reed, PR Consultant, thank you for joining us. As always, Kristen Fogel, appreciate your co-hosting abilities and all that business. Another excellent show as far as I'm concerned. You've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.